James White, Boxing Social, in association with Empire Fight Store and Our Kings. I'm here with Sonny Edwards. Sonny, we're here in Sheffield. Who are you here to see tonight?
Well, congratulations on your first Boxing Social shift as well.
Thank you.
I'm here supporting Ed Hardy mainly. I'll be real. I've got a few other friends on the card, Jack Bates and Kez Ashfax on the card. I get on with a few of the lads, to be honest. But yeah, mainly Ed. I'm also here working. Yes, Ali. Yes, bro. I'm also here working. Commentating the main card on the zone. Yeah. Now I'm unemployed. I've got to get some grafting when I can.
And GBM only started in 2020, but they're growing into a real powerhouse, especially in the north of England, aren't they?
Yeah, that's because I've commentated most of their shows. When you have the stars ringside. In all seriousness, yeah, Izzy's done tremendously well. We've been here since the very first show. I'm pretty sure it was Junaid Boston who headlined the first GBM show. He's not the second one, but I think it was the first one on his debut. So, us as a gym, Still City, we've been supporting. Me personally, I've built a good relationship with Izzy. He's helped me on some things outside of boxing as well, which I'll always be grateful for. And yeah, he's travelled around the world supporting me, I'll be honest. He came to Dubai to see me defend my world title over there a couple of times. He came to Arizona to watch me fight Bam. Yeah, he was in Birmingham last week. He comes all over, Izzy supporting. So yeah, I try and do what I can do for his shows and the lads on the shows. And any fighter that I'm working with, I'll always be willing and looking to get them involved. Especially look at Ed Hardy. These stages of his career, this platform is absolutely perfect. It's on the zone, and it's really giving fighters a great opportunity, a really, really great one. You've got to remember the fighters that are on this card are on the same broadcast as I was last week, and the headline was getting advertised in the same way that my one was last week. And what Izzy's done and the position he's managed to get himself in to then put for the rest of the fighters and the fighters that are coming through, yeah, it's a great little conveyor belt that started, and I do really hope that the zone and fighters and their teams do get behind these sorts of shows, because they're more ambitious, they're more what professional boxing should be about. And sometimes with the ticket sellers and maybe the smaller halls, the professional aspect sometimes missing a bit, and I don't think so on the GBM shows.
Yeah, I totally agree. Moving on to yourself, I know you've been asked this a lot, but it's a week on since your retirement. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, thank you for asking. Obviously, it was a bit of an emotional one at times, like I said, and I came out with a lot of raw, unfiltered emotion, just because I don't feel the need to really hide myself. Or I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of my effort, the years I've put into this sport. I'm proud of my achievements, my accolades, what I can do going forward. But deep down, when you know that maybe you're not in the same body as you was a few years ago, it's a hard conversation to have with yourself every night before you go to bed, preparing for one of the hardest fights of your career. It does get like that, and I don't know, just the physicality and the probably losing the belief in my own physical toughness, if I'm honest. Knocking arms and hurting bones, and it just seeming like it hurts for longer, hurts in more places. My shoulders stiffening up, my back, my wrists need injecting, my ankles, I need to wear supports. You get to a certain point and you think, okay, I've just been going for years after years without any really regard for my health or personal well-being, but to what end, you know what I mean? And I always thought in my head, the moment that I'm losing to people that I know I should be beating, then that's me done. And I never wanted to take anything away from Galal. He's a friend of mine, he's a great fighter, but I think the hundreds and however many rounds we've spent in the ring, what happened on Saturday was Galal was probably one of the most surprised people. I probably weren't as surprised as Galal, because I knew what was in my head. I'm a very good fighter. I've always been a very good fighter. I didn't show that on Saturday, so whilst that's who's in my head, then I need not be in a boxing ring, I think.
And it's that honesty that you've just given there, and the whole week that people love about you. Where does that come from?
I don't really fear the gaze of someone else's eyes and opinion. I think a few years ago, maybe more years ago now, I had, that that inner self-confidence. I wanted to prove everyone wrong. I wanted to be the best. I wanted to do it like never seen before. It's got to a point now where I just want to go home, be a good dad. I care about how my kids look up to me. I care about the conversation I'm having with them. When it comes to boxing, for me, it's entertainment. People need to feel something. I've always had to do more than what I was getting to get more than what I was doing. And at flyweight, there was no big fights to build into, really. There was no names to sort of bounce back and forth with. There was no one else of sort of a standard of level to aspire to. I had to break the mould and create the ground that we've then started fighting on and being involved in the fights that I have. But I just think where I've been setting myself up with the commentary, with the management over the last couple of years and taking any and every fight, deep down, I haven't been 100% in the boxing ring for probably the last 12, 13 fights of 14, maybe more. I've always had something, a bad hand, two bad hands, just always something. And, I always sort of live with we're just like gladiators, you patch us back up and you go forward. But, when you start thinking, is the juice really worth the squeeze, in lifetime, I don't think it's the best mindset to be in. And it kind of scared me, to be honest. I don't really know where it come from. I was always so hell-bent on the only thing that matters was boxing, and I don't know if I'm there anymore.
Yeah, that's totally understandable and respectable. Everyone all week has been praising the honesty, like I said before. Moving on to influencer boxing, I don't know what your opinion is on this, but we've seen Darren Till versus Tommy Fury off. Have you got any thoughts on that?
I like influencer boxing. I think anyone that wants to get in the ring should be able to, as long as it's matched relative. It doesn't matter how much money they generate. That's generated by the amount of eyes and attention. Now, Darren Till versus Tommy Fury was an interesting enough fight for me. I don't know about anyone else, but yeah, Tommy Fury pulling out because he said he was going to get kicked in the head. Like, I don't know. It just, maybe it's not really off. Maybe it's still going ahead, and they're just kind of doing this as like another spin on the drama. Maybe, I'm not sure. I think really there's more chance of that right now. Me personally, I don't know. I've got no idea. Bear in mind. But that's he obviously wasn't going to kick him in the head. And all you have to do was get a contract that he forfeits all his purse to you if he does anything. You had to get that in one conversation, especially after he just said that. You know what I mean? So either he doesn't want to fight, or he's heard that Till sparring better. I don't know, but I think Tommy's alright. I like Tommy, and I think he can fight a little bit. So I probably would have favoured him against Till because he's more of a boxer, maybe younger, fresher. But if he has pulled out, maybe he didn't fancy it. I don't know. But Till can fight. He's tough. So, but yeah,
February 22nd as well. It's going to kick the 2025 season off to an absolute flyer, isn't it? Some card.
What's that? The
Bivol
Beterbiev, Virgil Ortiz, Madrimov card. Yeah, I'll have to look at it again. Do you know what it is? There's so many good cards. You actually miss good fights now. When it's like Virgil Ortiz, Madrimov, and it's like fourth on the card or something. It's like, yeah, they are doing heavy cards over there, which I don't know why. Sometimes I feel like sometimes they're a bit too stacked. Let me say that. Sometimes I think we're doing too much at once. I'll be real. Like, I think there's definitely the difference between a fight that should headline, a fight should chief support, and a fight that should be on the undercard. And sometimes I think on these cards we're seeing like 4 headliners, and I think we could spread them over a few countries, a few cities, a few fight dates, and then put an actual chief support on as a chief support rather than like another headline. But at the same time, people want big fights, big nights, so set a standard no one else can keep up with. I hear it. I just don't know. I think some fights they're not getting their time in. The time in the sun. They're not a little bit of exposure you get for a fight. Like look at Josh Warrington, Anthony Kakachi. It was a great fight. It was as a world title fight was supposed to be, but it was at like 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Finally, I don't know if you're a betting man, but the Fury Usyk card. Who's your money on?
I'd go Usyk, but more because he's always been the man since I've been in boxing as the amateurs. He was the number one in the world, cruiserweight, heavyweight. As a pro, he's gone and done the exact same. I don't want to say easy because fighting's not easy. It's never easy, but he hasn't really looked like losing.
Perfect. Sonny Rhodes. Thank you. Nice one.
Can I please grab you for a couple of minutes?